How's your morning going?
What does the word please mean?
That's a good one to pick apart. At its most basic, cheese refers to this dairy food we make from milk, usually cow's milk, but it can be from goats or sheep too. But like most words, its meanings can get pretty layered. What made you curious about cheese specifically?
Why do we use the word please?
This is such a good question. So simple, but surprisingly complex.
Yes.
We mostly use please to make requests sound polite, right? Like softening the ask so it doesn't come across as a demand. But it's interesting because there's something subtly performative about it too. We're signaling to someone that we respect their agency and giving them the space to say no without guilt. What's your take on
When do
how
you
please
usually say
functions in
please?
conversations? I'm a little unclear what you meant with the "and will you use me safety" part. Could you clarify that for me?
Is it important to be polite? Why?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by pilot wide. Could you tell me more about that?
How do children learn to say please?
This is a really sweet question. I think kids learn to appreciate trees in lots of ways. Often it starts with just being outside, climbing them, building forts, maybe even reading stories about trees. Seeing adults care for trees, whether it's planting them or taking.
Do people always use please today?
It's funny how much language changes over time, isn't it? Like, please used to be more of this formal obligation, almost like saying you owed someone a favor just by making a request. Now it's more about basic politeness, making things sound less abrupt. Really shifts based on who you're talking to and where you are.
How was politeness different in the past?
That's huge to think about. So much has changed. Politics back in the day was way more localized for a long time. Before mass media, politicians had to travel and actually meet people face to face. Elections were often these big public events with lots of campaigning on the ground. Feels so different from the social media and instant information we have now. It's wild when you think about how slow information moved and how decisions were made before phones and stuff.
Do you think people are less polite now? Why?
That's a really interesting observation. It's hard to say for sure if people are truly less polite now, but the way we communicate has definitely changed. A lot of it might just be that modern life feels faster, more casual. And maybe when you're rushing through the day, being super polite feels like an extra step. I think digital communication changes it too. It's easier to be a bit brusque when you're typing. What makes you wonder if people are less polite than they used to be?
How does please make?
Hang on, I'm checking something for you.
I
So it
am.
looks like Peasnick comes up as a character from World of Warcraft. He's a goblin quest character. Outside of that, Peasnick actually is a surname, mostly found in Slovenia. It also sounds like picnic, if that helps. Anything specific you were curious about with it?
Yes. Can we be
Okay, what?
without saying please? How?
That's a really insightful question. We can definitely prepare requests without please. It's more about how we phrase them and our tone. Like if I said, tell me about cheese instead of please tell me about cheese. It's still a request, but it feels more direct. It's about being clear and respectful without using that softening word.
How does social media affect politeness?
That's huge. It's changed so much about how content is made and what we consume. Social media is algorithm driven. That means content gets tailored to individual feeds based on what gets the most engagement. Stuff that's attention grabbing and generates shares and comments rises to the top. It can make content feel really polarized or focused on sensationalism because those kinds of posts generate more response.
Thank you for you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.